Happy Sunday, everybody, and wow, what a Sunday it is today. Look at this beautiful snow-capped fells on the shores from here on the shores of Windermere. It is absolutely stunning. I'll be getting in very, very shortly. But I wanted to do a Showcase Sunday with a difference again this week, and it'd be great to summarise all the Showcase Sundays from January. And in January we had, if you remember, 4 incredible experts in their field. We had Angela Rawlinson from Utility Warehouse talking about the energy price rises and what to do, giving you top tips. Fiona.
I'm Angela Rawlinson. I live in Kendal. I've been partnered with Utility Warehouse for 9 years. I'm a retired police officer, so I started doing this job whilst I was still in the police. So yes, that's what I do. I do it and I love it. We're very different to all the other energy providers or service providers because we give that personal service, and it's about helping people to streamline their finances, their monthly outgoings, so that everything's on one bill and they can budget easier. We can help residential customers, no problem, and small to medium-sized businesses. And then we can also help large businesses, so hotels, etc., with the premium broker, the platinum broker. So we can help everybody, really. We know that the prices aren't going to go down anytime soon, and that it's time to act now, really.
I like to ask all my guests who come on our Showcase Sunday, what are the 5 top tips that you can give?
Oh, what I would say is find somebody that you connect with. So I like to think I'm quite an easygoing person, and so is Wayne. So find somebody that you can connect with, that you can talk to, that you can ask questions without feeling silly about the question that you ask, because there's no such thing as a silly question, only the one that you didn't ask, really. So you hopefully get to know, like, and trust them. That's really important. That kind of starts when you meet them. You know, meet them more than once. Stick me in a room, ask me any questions that you want, and I'll just get on with it. I think you should expect a personal service from the person that you're dealing with. You don't always get that with the big providers. You know, that's not important to them. What's important to them is that you pay your bills. What's important to us is that we make people feel comfortable and they can get that personal service from us 24/7. So, you know, let us look after you and your employees so that you can get on with doing what you're best at. And lastly, I would say, you know, be kind, support people, support your employees, have empathy. You have actually no idea what they're going through personally with their bills. It may affect their work. When they're at work, you know, at the hotel or guest house, or you know, at the bar, you have no idea what they're actually going through. So if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't bother saying it at all. That's what I say. So just be kind and understand.
I love that, and just touching on that actually about staffing and bills, etc. The one thing I've noticed is how many people are in debt with their energy providers, and that's something that I didn't realise was a norm. So that you would end up staying with them, and I always say to my clients, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If they bring you in, because that would be a no-brainer for me if I had a team in a hotel, as saying, look guys, you know, added value, added benefits for you. I brought in Angela, for example, to just see if you've got any bills. It's nothing to do with the hotel or the business or the organisation. Just let's have a look at it. Let Angela have a look at it, and then, you know, help and support you, see if she can help. And the one thing that I learned from you is no matter how much debt somebody's in, you can put a plan in place to actually help and support them to come out of it as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if they're in debt with their current provider, it's important that they speak to them to set up an arrangement where they pay that debt off. If they're going to move, say, to utility warehouse, it's important that they do that. But you're right, people do stay with that provider because they owe them money. And unfortunately, there will be some objections, even if the customer decides that they want to go with us, there can still be an objection put in by the current provider that they're with. But as long as they put an arrangement in place to pay that debt off, there shouldn't be an issue. And what's important as well is we offer a confidential service. So I know in the past there have been people who I've spoken to, say 2 years ago, who've perhaps been in debt and just kind of brushed me off and said, oh no, we're okay where we are. And that's fine. You know, we show them what we do, and if it's not for them, it's not for them. But I like to leave the door open so that they can always come back and get another quote from us when they're ready. And very often when they do come back, they say, I didn't go with you because I was in debt. And I understand why they don't tell us, because it's very private information, but I just want them to know that we don't judge them at all. You know, people get into these situations and it's usually because the company that they've been with have set their direct debit too low.
Yeah.
So they think they're getting a good deal, but they're actually not. So they end up being in debt. And that's where, unfortunately, the companies try and keep hold of them. So just not to worry about that, you know, get the quote, see where you go from there. And, you know, hopefully you can move forward, because it can be psychologically damaging to people who know or worry about the fact that they're in debt with their energy company.
The other thing that is hot on everybody's lips at the moment is how many the energy and utility businesses have gone into bankruptcy, how they've gone under, and they are worried. A lot of people are worried that they've been put into a position where they've been given another provider and told they've got to stay there. And I hear it all the time at the moment when I, you know, question invoices. They say, we've got to stay there because we've been told we have to, otherwise we'll get a penalty. Now, that's a myth, isn't it, Angela?
It is a myth. Since the beginning of September, 18 companies have gone bust. From the beginning of the year, 27 out of the 45 have gone bust. So that tells you the kind of crisis that we're in. And unfortunately, these companies who offer cheap deals don't think ahead. They don't buy ahead. They don't think ahead. And they can't offer those deals anymore because they're actually paying more for the energy now than what they're offering it to their customers. That's why they've gone bust. But Utility Warehouse are a very cash-rich company. You know, we're on the FTSE 250. You know, we're very, very secure. We've bought ahead. We have an agreement in place until 2033, which I think is fantastic. We have a 25-year business plan. That's important. That lets you know that that company is a safe company to deal with. And it is a myth. So if you've been switched from a company that's gone bust, and you've been told to stay there until they give you a tariff or they give you a rate that you're going to be paying, that is a myth. Once you've been assigned a new provider by Ofgem, and you've had an email, say, from another provider to say, we're taking over, you do not have to stay with them until you get 1, an account number, or 2, a new tariff. Once you've been assigned to a new provider, you can then choose who you go with. And hopefully you'll go with us at Utility Warehouse or with our platinum broker if you're a large business.
Thank you, Angela. Absolutely fantastic top tips. And the next is Fiona Durham from Mark Nealed Wealth, planning your financial future. So here's over to Fiona.
So as you mentioned, my name is Fiona Durham. I'm a financial advisor based in Carlisle, but I have clients all across the country. I think the beauty of online technology, as we realised in lockdown, we can help clients from absolutely everywhere. Really, in a nutshell, help clients achieve their financial goals, whether it be purchasing your first home, having enough income in retirement, or protecting your families. We're here to provide sort of a holistic service for each and every one of our clients. Myself as an advisor provide a completely holistic approach for clients, whether it be mortgages, investment planning, retirement planning, protecting yourself, your family, tax and estate planning, and as you mentioned, keeping in touch with clients, at least having an annual review, because initial advice is very much advice in that point in time, but we all know from year to year our circumstances completely change. So it's making sure the advice remains relevant, and we can, if we need to make changes in the advice, if we need to change your investment planning, if we need to make amendments to your mortgage, that we can absolutely do that.
So I always ask my Showcase Sunday interviewees, what are your 5 top tips that you can give out today, please?
So first would obviously be budget planning. Sounds really simple, but it's something that as we just go through life, we can kind of forget to do as income changes. Sit down and look at your top line of income, get rid of obviously the needs first. So we've got food, bills, all those different types of things. And then see what is our excess income. Can we look to make regular savings every month? That kind of filters into second top tip, build an emergency fund. Good rule of thumb is to have at least 3 months of essential expenditure held in cash. That just means that you can draw upon it if anything happens, and we can almost pretty much guarantee that everything will break in threes. So that's why we say at least 3 months worth of expenditure. If it's about long-term savings, so sort of top tip number 3, think about savings that we've got in the bank. Inflation's actually gone up to 4.2 at the minute. So if you've got long-term savings in the bank, I very much doubt that you're getting 4.2 as an interest rate. That actually means the real value of your money over the long term's got reducing. So could you consider investing as a way to make your money work harder for you? Number 4, which we've kind of already touched on, check your national insurance contributions. Make sure that they're absolutely correct, because you do need 35 years worth of national insurance contributions to get your full state pension. As I said, you can just do that really easily on the government website. And probably number 5, always you need to have a personal pension. It's never too late to start saving, but obviously the earlier you can do it, the better. If you can start doing it in your 20s, that's the best way forward.
And what I enjoyed about your presentation as well is you actually showed 3 different diagrams, 3 different levels. So if you're giving so much into your pension scheme, that's how much you would have a certain amount at the beginning, and that would be it, you know, and that would be less than what people earn nowadays. And then the next level was, well, if you wanted to go out for a nice meal, that's the level. And then the third one, if you wanted to have a great life in your retirement and actually go on holiday and enjoy your life, then that would be a level. And that was really eye-opening. You know, if you've not been planning your pension, you know, from your early 20s, for example, you need to start thinking about it.
I think that's one thing that no one really anticipates, how long they're going to live in life. The average person could easily live 30 years after retirement, and you've got to think, whatever's in your retirement pot, could that actually sustainably last me 30 years? And most of the time, unfortunately, we get towards retirement, we think, oh no, it can't. So obviously the earlier you start, it's the absolute better. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fiona. That was absolutely fantastic, and so many amazing top tips. And it's interesting how at different stages of your life, how important it is to plan for your financial future on a continual basis, and the different elements you need to be looking at. And the next interviewee was Sally Edgar from We Are Intro. Over to you, Sally.
So I'm Sally Edgar. I'm the marketing manager at Intro, which is a PR, social media and content marketing agency based in Carlisle in the beautiful historic quarter by the cathedral. I've been in the media industry for almost 15 years, and at Intro we do everything from writing and pitching press releases to producing video content, managing social media campaigns, and also bigger creative campaigns like World Gravy Championships, Brighter Cumbria, all sorts of things. So it's really varied, and I love what I do. You know, we can really make a difference to businesses, and I love seeing how what we do impacts them and the success that they have.
Brilliant. And do you just work in Cumbria or all over the UK?
Predominantly Cumbria, but we do take on clients from all over the UK. I think in the business that we're in, obviously we do a lot of digital work for clients as well. So yeah, we are open to UK-wide clients. Well, I think in terms of the team, we're a creative team. We've got ex-reporters, journalists, you know, from the Evening Standard Times. We've got professional photographers as well, and videographers, graphic designers. So, you know, we're a creative group. So we know from our experience what the papers want. So if you come to us with a story, we can say, right, we've worked the other side of it. We've worked in newsrooms. We know the stories that people are looking for, and we know how to get you the coverage. We also have between us a lot of contacts from that previous experience as well. But I think one of the really unique things that particularly interested me in Intro when I first joined was the values that Intro have. Like, everybody at Intro is really focused on, you know, helping the community, in particular local community. So it's really nice to work with people that have those values, and that, you know, we really want to make a difference. I think particularly at the moment when a lot of local businesses have really been struggling, it's nice to actually be able to help them and see that difference as well. And it's not just in the work that we do, because we also have a big focus on local community in writing our local newsletters. So we get local news out there. And we also created the Historic Quarter Network as well, which is kind of linking, I mentioned the Historic Quarter earlier, by the cathedral. You know, it's linking together all of those businesses for kind of the greater good, which is just brilliant. You know, it's a way that excuse me, that we can showcase Carlisle and Cumbria as well, you know, as a brilliant place to be. And, you know, we work with all different sizes of companies, all different types of businesses. So it does really feel like we can cater for, you know, the smaller budgets. Some people come to us just wanting to do a PR pack, one of our PR packages as a one-off. And then we have some clients that have bigger budgets that they want to do really kind of wacky, out there, creative ideas. And it's really, like I said earlier, it's really nice to be able to see that process from start to finish, and see even, you know, whether it's a smaller client or a bigger client, what we can really achieve for them and their businesses.
You're quite results focused for them, are you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's obviously different businesses have different challenges, and they'll come to us with things that they might want to promote in particular, or they might just want to generally get kind of brand awareness out there. But we can do everything from, like I say, getting press coverage in the papers and things, which is a very like physical thing. We can also do online, like social media, paid campaigns and Google ads, and all of those things are ways that we can actually show the value. So this is the money you've put in, this is what you get out of it as well as obviously that kind of the brand awareness and getting people talking about businesses, really, which is the key thing.
So I always ask my interviewees, my guests to my Showcase Sunday, what are your 5 top tips?
Top tips, I think things that we've covered, probably number 1, I would say, do invest in your PR and marketing. Like we've said, you know, so many people don't, or it gets put way down the priority list, but it's just so important to keep on that. you know, even if it's little and often, just keep going with it and make sure that your business is out there, because the more it's out there, the more likely you are to attract customers. Excuse me. And it can be affordable, like we've said. I know, like at Intro, we do our PR package, which is just a one-off payment, and it's, you know, through that people can just talk to us. It literally takes 20 minutes, and we'll talk to them and we learn about their business, and we're on a mission in that call to find out what it is, what the story is, what is there that is that hook that the press will want to pick up on. And we do that, we pitch the story to our contacts, we write the press release, and we've got professional photographers, as I mentioned earlier, who will come and produce all the photography. And that's photography that you can then use on your website, on your social media. You own that as well. So, you know, things like that, you get a lot of value from something like that, and it's not a big long commitment. So do look at the options for investing in PR marketing and make sure that you do keep doing that consistently. So that'd be number one. And number two, do trust that you have a story. We're talking about these stories, and like I said with the vets, you know, that was like just chat, and oh, this thing happened, and chat, and it's like, whoa, take a step back, like what was that you just said? You know, everybody has a story, and so often we hear people saying, oh, we don't really have anything to talk about right now, because they think marketing or PR, it has to be something really big. They have to be launching something, or there needs to be like a new product or a new service, or they've had a refurb. You know, it doesn't always have to be that. You will have a story, and even if it's something that feels very kind of, you know, daily standard to you as a business, there will be people that want to know about it. So I think it's just talking to the right people that can kind of pull that out of you and say, that is a good story, we can do that. So yeah, trust that you do have a story. And I think across all marketing, number three, I would say just to be consistent. I think particularly on social media, it does feel a bit like the rat race. It feels like you're competing all the time, and it's like, oh, that business has posted however many times today, and you know, don't focus so much on the quantity of what you're doing. You know, it's not just trying to throw things out there. Make sure that what you're putting out there, what you're posting on social media, on your website, even on posters and things, you know, in your business, make sure it's all consistent. Make sure it's, you know, good quality. It represents you as a brand. We do a lot of work at Intro on branding, and you know, providing clients with graphics and things for social media to make sure that you can see it. You know, you're scrolling through all this stuff, we all do it, you scroll through on your phone, and then what is it that catches your eye? It's something that, you know, obviously is interesting, or like it's going to catch your eye, but it's, do you immediately see that post and think, oh, that's that brand? And it's so important to make sure that you do that it's consistent, that your brand represents you. So yeah, I would say be consistent in what you're doing. Try not to get too caught up in the amount of stuff that you're doing. It's not a competition, is a little bit, but make sure that you know, the quality is there over and above everything else. And I think knowing your audience. So number 4, I would say knowing your audience. Because even if you've got what you want to say, you need to make sure that you're actually sending that message out to the right people at the right time. You know, you could shout all day about a kid's toy, for example, or something like that, and you're only hitting grannies or like great grandparents or people in a home. You know, it's not related. So you need to make sure that you hitting that right audience. And I think it's taking the time to actually research how you access them. So you know who your audience is. How do you get to them? You know, are they reading certain publications? Do you know that they love to read in Cumbria, for example, or a certain newspaper, or are they going to be influenced by somebody like an influencer on social media working with your brand? Are they following a certain Facebook group? You know, make sure that you're targeting them in the place that they're going to be there, and actually listen to what you're saying. And finally, I think, and this is like a big one for intro, it's thinking outside the box. So you can get caught up in all of the, you know, social media posts in the day-to-day, running your business, but actually thinking outside the box and you know, thinking creatively, bigger ideas. And I know recently we've worked with Eden Valley Hospice on their 30th anniversary campaign, which was, it's been a brilliant experience. And you know, you think anniversary, birthday, you know, it could have been a simple post, that social post that's put out there, but no, let's think bigger. Let's think bigger. So we had a bit of an ideas session around it, and anyway, we decided to do these huge birthday cards, like 5'6" birthday cards, and we, as I said before, you know, we really want to bring all the community together. That's involved in a lot of what we do. So we sent these big birthday cards out to different businesses, to local schools, and we just said, you know, this is what we're doing, this is what we're, you know, celebrating. Can you decorate one of these cards for the hospice? So in the end, we had all these cards, and like, right, where are we going to put these cards? Where do they live? Where are they going to get noticed? And you know, some people watching this might have actually seen, but we ended up we put them up on the castle ramparts. So it was like a giant mantelpiece with all these huge birthday cards, and you know, things like that. It gets people talking. We brought the community together. It's for a good cause. I mean, the hospice again has suffered massively through the pandemic, with people not being able to fundraise. So, you know, anything that we feel that we can do and contribute to helping with that is just amazing. So yeah, there was this mantelpiece of birthday cards on the castle. Everyone must have been like, what's going on up there? But you know, it gets news coverage. The papers want to talk about it, word of mouth. People are saying, what was that about? And then, oh, well, we actually saw something on social media that it's actually for the hospice. And then people start talking about the hospice. So yeah, try and just think outside the box, talk to other people, talk to people within your business. There might be people that work for you that have brilliant ideas, but you're not accessing that, you're not talking to them, or they don't feel confident enough, they don't feel like it's their place to talk about ideas or marketing. You know, make sure that you have those conversations. And you know, if you do get the opportunity to work with an agency or somebody that thinks creatively like that, then you know, trust them to do that, and to kind of go a bit wacky, a bit out there, because it, you know, there is value in that.
Fantastic, Sally, that's brilliant, and fantastic top tips for exposure of your business and your brand and everything that you do from Sally Edgar, We Are Intro. Thank you. And the last but certainly not least is Chris Wilcox from Lightbulb Web Design. And over to you, Chris.
My name's Chris. I run Lightbulb Web Design, which was launched back in 2014. And I guess everybody who does web design just says, oh, we do web design. I like to think we do that, but with a bit of a difference of approach to a lot of others. I guess we're what you would call a virtual agency. So I've purposely built a lot of relationships up in many years with a lot of other local businesses who complement what I do, be that graphic design, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, anything that relates to what we do, which means I can pull in the right people for the right project to fit that project exactly what it needs. Whereas I'm not limited by my staff that I employ. I can literally work with anybody that fits to the project. And why do I do it? I do it because I love the results for the clients, really. The first site that I did was a freebie, in essence, before I really launched the business, for a garden designer. And the business he got from the website changed his own business. And that was inspiration that I got to say, hang on a minute, maybe I've got something I can actually take out there do properly for everybody else as well. So that's where it started from, and it's still going 8 years later. So it's a great platform.
Wow. And web design is a skill in itself. I mean, there's all sorts of different platforms that people use. There's I had a client a few weeks ago who I think some family friend had actually made their website years ago, and then they had a big catastrophic issue when the website just sort of went all a mangled mess, and it was because the theme was out of date, even though it was all programmed, and they were having a problem. So obviously, you know, you do website design. What else do you do? Is it with all systems, or is it what is it? What different platforms do you use?
We work on one platform. I purposely just chosen the one platform to work on and the one set of tools to go in with it, because I can support it better. I haven't got a massive difference of every client's got something different. They've all got the same back-end platforms to work on. And it's a platform called Joomla, which is certainly second popular to WordPress, but even then it doesn't have as much of a user base. But generally speaking, it's in my opinion, a more secure platform, a faster platform, more comprehensive, and out of the box, it offers a lot more tools to me than WordPress does. And I've used it for 20 years, basically. I know it inside out, and so far it's served me well for every project that we've worked on, apart from one or two which have been something different, which is unusual.
And when you say you work bespoke, because it is about the ideal client avatar. I'm big on teaching that within every organisation I work with. And not many people actually understand what the customers want, the pains and gains. And I think, oh, gosh, if you don't actually speak to your customer, they're never going to find you. They're never going to see you because you're not speaking their language. You know, for me, it's a no-brainer. But you do get companies out there who just go on about what they do and haven't got a clue how to connect the two together. It's
something, I've fallen foul of that myself. You know, I would say it's only the past 18, 24 months that I've really focused on my ideal client type. And then a lot of businesses are invisible to their ideal client because they're not where their client is. So they might be sitting on Facebook throwing out post after post after post, but all their clients on Instagram. Yeah. So, and they've never even thought about where their clients come from to make sure that they're focusing their marketing not only in the right venue, in the right place, but also the right content and stuff for that client to then be attracted back to consider buying from them as well. It's a really important part of it all.
Massive, it is, and it is the basis of any organisation after the USP, you know, to what is the pains and gains for your ideal client, but knowing who they are, what they're doing right now, what they're looking for, what's the issues, what's the frustrations, and how can you make it better for them, no matter what business you are. What are your 5 top tips, Chris?
I would go back to the comment there about thinking of your client first as well. So don't approach a website as yourself. Don't think of it as something that is going to be written so that when you read it, you think it's brilliant, because that's the wrong approach to do it. You're not your customer. Don't ask the opinion of your friends and family of anything you're going to do unless they are also your ideal customer, because they will give you their opinion, which will not actually fit with what you need to be doing. In terms of your website, I would make sure you've considered when they land on your site, they need to read really quickly what you do, and then also why that's beneficial to them. Don't just repeat your logo in the middle of the page as a big picture, because that doesn't mean anything to anybody. They've seen it already, it's there, they're on your website. Give them some social proof. Whether you're a hospitality business, you've got reviews of people that have stayed with you, eating your food, put them on your homepage, make sure that people can see you're not just making it up yourself. And don't let your customers shout for yourself is the way to do it on that one. How many is that for? Trying to count this out. I've got loads probably, to be fair.
You're very welcome to do more.
No, I think the last one I'll come back to again is really think about the photography, because it makes or breaks a website to be given really good professional photography versus mediocre home shot stuff. Your business is out there to show itself off, and photography is a big part of that. It generally doesn't matter what business you're in, the imagery is really important. So budget for that. Don't think it's something you can pop in and do yourself in 5 minutes.
Absolutely brilliant, Chris. Very well done on getting the most of your website and the exposure for your brand. And what an amazing for Showcase Sunday top tips summary, and thank you very much. So I'm off to get in the lake now, and happy Sunday everybody, happy weekend. See you very soon.